Okay, let's unpack this a bit. Have you ever found yourself wondering, how many leads might be slipping through your fingers just because no one followed up fast enough? Or maybe how many potential customers just ghost you after hours? You never hear from them again because they couldn't get an immediate answer. Yeah, that's right.
Mhm.
It's a really common pain point for so many businesses out there. So today we're diving into why small businesses often lose like thousands every single month. And it's not because they're doing anything wrong fundamentally, but maybe because they're just too slow. Slow to respond, slow to follow up, slow when it comes to getting things scheduled. And if you're sitting there thinking, okay, an immediate 24/7 solution sounds great, but that's probably too complex or way too expensive for my business, well, then you're exactly who we need to talk to today. Our deep dive is all about the solution laid out in this really insightful podcast episode. It's called The AI Assistant That Never Sleeps: Why Every Small Biz Needs One. Our mission here really is to pull out the most important nuggets, the key insights, maybe some surprising facts from it, all to help you understand how you can build smarter, not just, busier, and maybe bust a few myths along the way.
Yeah, and what's truly fascinating here, I think, is how this source tackles that core issue head on, the lost revenue, just from being slow. It presents this AI assistant not just as some fancy tool, but really as a paradigm shift. It's framed as this 24/7 solution. It doesn't get sick. It never forgets anything, which fundamentally changes what customers start to expect, right? So we'll be looking at the practical ways this tech can actually transform a business, even for those of you who might think, that's not really for me, it's out of reach.
Okay, so to really get our heads around this, let's maybe picture a scenario. The source describes it really vividly. Imagine it's, say, 11:42 p.m. Late, right? And someone texts your business number, they're really interested in your service, keen to know more, and the source paints this picture where, like, literally 1 minute later, 11:43 p.m., your AI assistant replies something like, "Hi, great to hear from you. I can definitely help with that. What day works best for your appointment?" And just like that, boom, appointment's booked, a potential sale secured, right there and then. No missed opportunity.
Yeah, exactly. And that scenario really highlights the critical difference that speed makes. It's immediate. The source shows this isn't just about catching a few more leads here and there. It's about fundamentally changing customer expectations. Because when that response is instant, the customer's intent to buy. It's right at its peak, apparently a delay of even, 5 or 10 minutes. It can drop conversion rates by up to 50% in some industries. That's staggering. That's the real insight behind why they keep saying speed wins.
Yeah, and here's where it gets really interesting for me because the source makes it super clear this isn't some like futuristic sci-fi idea. It's real, it's accessible now, it's happening, which means you don't necessarily need to hire more staff, which is often the first thought. What you might actually need is one of these AI assistants, working 24/7, never gets sick, never forgets. It's really about using technology to cover those gaps that human limitations naturally create, like needing sleep or taking a day off.
Right. Which brings up a really important question. Okay, beyond just replying fast, what can these smart AI agents, as the source calls them, actually do? The source outlines some key functions that directly hit those pain points, the slowness, the inefficiency, and importantly, how they do it. What makes them effective isn't just the speed, although that's crucial. It's also their ability to use natural language processing, understand kind of nuanced questions, and integrate smoothly with the software you might already use, like CRMs or scheduling tools. They're moving way beyond those simple old-school chatbots into something genuinely intelligent.
Oh, they certainly are. The podcast episode really highlights this. They can answer questions instantly. Yeah, they can book calls or appointments. And this is crucial, they can qualify leads. Now, for anyone wondering, qualify leads, what does that actually mean? Well, the AI can ask key questions, right? To figure out if a prospect is genuinely interested and a good fit. Things like their budget, their timeline, specific needs. This ensures your human team, your sales team maybe, only spends time on the most promising opportunities, which is huge. And of course, they can follow up automatically, consistently. There's this great analogy in the source. It's like cloning your best employee, but without the payroll. That really hits home, doesn't it? Definitely. And to really drive home the kind of impact these systems can have, the podcast shares this powerful true story. One of their clients, a real estate business, added, get this, an extra $30,000 in closed deals just by having the AI assistant text and call leads faster, more relentlessly than their competitors could. It wasn't magic. It was just pure, consistent speed and follow-up that, let's be honest, humans struggle to maintain 24/7. Speed wins, and AI doesn't blink. That's a powerful takeaway.
Absolutely. And building on that incredible real estate example, the wider message from the source is really about that paradigm shift we mentioned earlier. If we connect this to the bigger picture for everyone listening, The source is pretty blunt about it. If you're still doing things manually or relying on maybe one person to catch every single lead or message, you're almost certainly leaving money on the table. And maybe the most surprising thing for a lot of listeners, the source points out that solutions to sort of AI-ify your business can be incredibly accessible. It mentions some options starting as low as like $1, which directly tackles that common idea that this stuff must be expensive.
Right. So, having heard all that, seen the potential impact, it really makes you think about your own business, doesn't it? Just thinking about your current operations, where do you feel you stand on this whole automation spectrum? Like, be honest with yourself. Do you have any automation helping you follow up with leads right now? Are you maybe fully automated? Or partially, but it still needs work? Or is it, pretty much all manual still? Or perhaps you're sitting there just wondering what automation even really means for your specific business.
And that leads to, I think, an important question for you to consider, maybe beyond just that initial lead follow-up that the source focuses heavily on. While getting that first contact right is huge, think about where else. Where else in your entire business operation could this kind of never-sleeping, always-on AI presence make a difference? How could it transform the way you connect with customers later on? How you secure opportunities, maybe even streamline internal stuff? Ultimately, how could it allow your business to run smarter, more efficiently, even while you're asleep? It's about thinking beyond just that first touch point and seeing the full potential of having a truly always-on aspect to your enterprise.